And here I would suggest in the meditation you'd be sitting still, sitting straight. You'd have your eyes closed or your eyes open, whichever feels most natural for you. First, to become aware of your breathing. And inhaling, to be aware that you're inhaling. And when you exhale, be aware of your exhaling. Be aware of the life-giving rhythm of your breathing. Where would you be without your breathing? Next, allow your awareness of your breathing to extend to a general awareness of your bodily presence sitting in your chair. The feeling of contact with your chair, with your feet on the floor, the position your arms are in your lap. If there's any discomfort in your body, just the felt sense of your own bodily presence sitting in your chair, your body. Where would you be without your body? Now become aware of your mind. And by your mind, I mean that which is passing through awareness at each moment. That which is passing through your awareness at this present moment, each present moment. If your mind is blank, let it be blank for as long as it's blank. If a thought arises, let the thought arise. If the thought endures, let it endure as long as it endures. And when the thought passes away, let it pass away. So too with memory. So too with emotion. So too with bodily sensations. For all that arises in the field of awareness, let it arise. For all that endures, let it endure. And for all that passes away, let it pass away. Try to be equal-minded toward all that arises, toward all that endures, and all that passes away. The gift of your mind. Where would you be without your mind? Having begun to become present to all that lies within, that is to the interior sense of your own body and to your own mind. Become aware now of the surrounding world, of the room that you're sitting in right now. Be aware whether you're sitting in the front of the room or the back of the room, whether you're sitting in the middle of a row or the end of the row. Be aware of your sense of the temperature in the room, the lighting in the room. What for you the felt senses of being in this place right now? The configuration of chairs here. In being aware of the surrounding world, don't forget to become aware of the chair you're sitting in that sustains you at this moment in your place on this earth. Where would you be without the world in which to live your life? Now turn to a source of suffering in your life. And with respect to the suffering, there's two things here to be sensitive to. One, choose a source of suffering that's real for you. That is, focus on something which, if there was some way, if you could ease the burden of it or remove its burden, you'd be very grateful. Something real. And also be careful to choose something that's not overwhelming to you. I would hope there's nothing like that for you right now. But if there is, do not choose something that will not be safe to turn to. Being very careful not to choose something overwhelming is what makes it safe to go on. Choosing something's real is what gives it the ring of reality. This is your life here right at this moment, my life right at this moment. And turn towards that source of suffering. In becoming aware of that source of suffering, let your intention be to draw in close to it and to interiorly touch it with love. Interiorly touch it with love, that it might dissolve in love, or at least something of its intensity might be lightened. Notice also, in this freely choosing to be interiorly present to your own suffering, how as you draw close to the suffering, some of the suffering you draw close to comes back through into you and your very openness to it. And notice here the delicate balance of drawing close to the suffering, and in drawing close to it is to feel the heat of it. And also the need to take care of yourself in the presence of suffering. How to kind of back off if you feel you're even the least bit concerned about being overwhelmed by it. Only that you might reapproach it again in a more grounded way. This delicate balance of the healing encounter with the hurting place within yourself. Where would you be without this willingness to approach this hurting place? Where would you be without your willingness to participate in the suffering for the sake of the liberation from suffering? Where would you be if you didn't know how to take care of yourself in the presence of suffering, if you let it take you down? Now become aware of something that you could do for the rest of this evening or the rest of your weekend here or when you go back home that would in some way possibly contribute to the healing of the suffering. Maybe it would be the decision to move towards a more reality-based attitude towards the whole thing. Maybe it would be learning to accept that it's true. Maybe it would be a long overdue talk with someone with whom you've had an unfortunate falling out. Maybe it would be the decision to not neglect some important aspect of your health. Find out what's going on and take care of yourself. Whatever. But what is it? Even if it would be just one step towards it, what would that look like put into action? Next. Become aware of someone in your life that you know is suffering right now. You're concerned about them. And in your awareness of them, know that they're interiorly present to and one with you. And extend to them the desire to be free from that suffering, just as you desire to be free from your suffering. A kind of participatory communion of compassionate concern for them. Or whatever the source of suffering is that you've become aware of, to know that you are not the only person who suffers with that. And to let your intention be that all who suffer with that with which you suffer, that they too might be released from the burden of that suffering? Where would you be without your empathic, compassionate concern for others? Now become aware of what it is for you that you experience to be greater than yourself in relationship to which you find meaning and value in your life. Your faith in God, your faith in the power of creativity, your faith in the dignity of the human experience, the world, the poetic impulse. Whatever it is for you that has numinous liberating power, turn and ask that mystery greater than yourself, whatever it is, and ask for the grace or the gift to be open to its guidance and to its support as you go through your life. Where would you be without turning toward that which is greater than yourself and seeking to be faithful and receptive to its guidance and presence in your life? And as a way to end, ask for the grace that as you end this meditation, that the inner tripod of being present, compassionate, and committed to healing decisive action might stay stabilized as you go through the rest of your day and through all the days of your life. Let that be your intention.